guys, it's Friedia here, and today I wanted to talk about craft shows. Since it is craft show season, I do get a lot of questions on my Instagram asking me all types of questions, so I thought I would make a two-part series. This video will be part one, and this is all about when you have your first craft show and what you need to do before. And part two will be all about things that you should bring to a craft show, or things that I bring that I find very helpful for craft shows. So let's get into this video. You have a brand, you have something you're excited, you want to share with everyone, your sales are doing well, or maybe they're not and you're wanting to try to do craft shows. Before you start any craft show, what I highly recommend is to go check them out. Go to your local craft show, even to a farmer's market sometimes. A lot of farmers markets recently have somewhat of like a craft show type of feel where they bring not only like produce but other makers, local makers, and things, and you get to see what everyone has in their booth, as in like display, what items they're selling, what booths are really busy, like what's their niche for that craft show. A lot of craft shows that I have gone to, or at least around Los Angeles, you'll see a lot of ceramics, a lot of jewelry, and a lot of leather goods. I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying there's a little bit more competition, so just check it out. For local LA craft shows, I know that Echo Park Craft is more higher end, and I believe they even ask the customers to pay a fee to enter the craft show, whereas you could have Renegade Craft Fair, where they have it at a park in Los Angeles, and that's free for anyone to come. But again, like every craft show has a different feel, a different vibe, so I highly recommend you go checking them out, or at least do your research online as much as you can. Now you have found a craft show that you would like to participate. Well, it doesn't mean that you will always be accepted to these craft shows. I have received many rejections always, in the past and currently. So what I highly recommend is create a very good website, social media presence, because when you apply for these craft shows, not only will you have to explain what you're about and what you're trying to do, but you're also going to have to send them photos of your products, if it's your website, anything to show you, your brand. You're going to need to really just kind of like show it off and tell them why you should be in this craft show. Don't be discouraged if you do not get accepted. I know, I've been there. There have been times where I was rejected to a craft show and I have emailed them. Sometimes I get a reply, sometimes I do not, but at times they give you some really good critiques on why it wasn't selected. Normally it's because whoever's coordinating the craft show, it's what they're really into. So don't be discouraged, and yeah, don't be offended or anything. It just means it wasn't meant to be during that time. If I were you, I would keep applying. That's what I do every year, and sometimes I still don't get in. But yeah, just keep at it. So now you have been accepted into a craft show. Congratulations! This is so exciting. I remember my very first craft show. I was so nervous. I had no clue what to do. I just knew that I wanted to be one of the girls sitting behind those booths and selling something they made. And then I finally got there. And there wasn't really much about craft shows online a few years ago, and I feel like it's a bigger thing now. That's why I'm making this video. So you've been accepted to the craft show, and let's say you have a month. Usually it's like a 30-day thing. Sometimes it's even last minute, like 1 to 2 weeks. But you're gonna have to mark your calendar. This is the craft show day, and you're gonna have to work backwards. So when you're working backwards, you have to really determine how much you're gonna take to the craft show. Are you gonna bring a lot of things? Are you gonna bring your whole collection? Is it just gonna be a niche? For me, I sell cards, so I have to really make sure that I have enough cards for the show. I have many cards. I have maybe 80-90 different cards at the moment, and I can't display them all at once. So for me, I like to pick and choose what the customers are going to be. If you kind of have a feel of who's coming, what type of girl, guy, family, then you can kind of cater to them. So now that you've figured out how much you want to bring, you have to really schedule and figure out how long it's going to take you to make it. For jewelry makers, I know it takes a little bit longer. If you're printing like me, you gotta send out those cards to get printed ASAP because you need a package, price them, and do all of that. So yeah, again, mark it on the calendar, work backwards. Next is book everything you need as soon as possible, because when you start booking things last minute, it gets more expensive. So let's use an example. I will be going to San Francisco for a craft show, which means I will have to book my hotel. I will have to book my rent-a-car if I need one. I'll have to book any booth displays. Sometimes they rent out tables, chairs, lights. Really depends. And you might also want to book some help. It really depends on how big your booth is, how comfortable you are, just running things on your own. Normally I do things by myself, but there are times where I wish I had help in my booth so that I could run to the restroom or grab something to eat or even just walk around the show. Most of the times you're just busy and on your feet the whole show, so you don't really get to see anything or say hi to anyone that you know. So if you need to book that too, I would highly recommend you book it as soon as possible. Now that you've booked your hotel and things, you're gonna want to really try to focus on your booth. If you already have a display that you've been using for other things, then great. If you haven't, you might want to look at that ASAP, because I had to buy some stands for my cards, and I thought it would ship like Amazon, like next day, Prime, but it didn't happen. And I remember it being last minute. I bought something and then it came, I would say maybe a week and a half later. So I would not wait last minute for any display items. If you need to go to any like craft stores, Hobby Lobby has a lot of great display depending on what you're wanting to do. Amazon has a lot of great things, or you might just want to DIY it yourself. Go to Home Depot and just kind of get your hands dirty to make something that you want. A lot of people go full in and make the backdrop out of wood or plywood and they bring it in. I started easy and I'm still doing the same thing, where I just bring 2 poles and I have a curtain in the back. Which reminds me, I want to buy a new curtain, so thank you for that. But if I were you, I would test it out. So let's say you get a 6'4" table. If you don't have that big of a space, just put it on the ground, but just get your displays up and kind of figure out how you want to play around with it. Because even like when you even when you think you have your full display ready and you go to the show and it doesn't go with the flow the way the customers are going or something, you're gonna have to switch it around. But if you kind of know where everything is and how you want everything to work, the more you know, the better. So display is one thing. Don't forget the other things that come with your brand. So when someone purchases something, are you gonna just hand it to them? Does it go in a box? Does it go in a paper bag? Do you need any tissue, any ribbon? Another huge thing I would highly recommend is just having postcards or business cards or something that people can just like pick up, because there will be a lot of people be like, oh, I like this brand, I want to come back. They'll grab your card, walk around, and hopefully they'll look at your card again and come back. But having something like that is really important. So not just the display, but after someone has purchased your item, how are you going to handle it? It's another thing that you should think of. So you've got the majority of things that you need for your booth already. Now you have to invite your followers, whether it's your Instagram followers, your mailing list, or your friends and family. Blast it out. Let them know that you're gonna be doing a craft show and get as many people there as possible. Really, family members help out so much. Friends really help out. One tip that I got from a craft show friend was they asked their family members, they scheduled their friends and family to come like every hour or every other hour. The reason why is because when they come and they're standing in your booth, the people that are just walking up and down the hallway or up and down the row, they will be like, oh, that booth is so busy. What's going on? It must be good. And they'll come in and purchase something. Little craft show secrets. You're about 1 to 2 weeks away from your first craft show or second or third. If I were you, I would update your online store. The first thing people do when they go to the craft show and they see your card and they really like it, and they're like, oh, what are they all about? And they go onto Instagram and they're checking out your photos, and then most of them will ask, hey, can I buy this online? Because some people are not from that area and they don't want to carry it, or they want to think about it, so they want to purchase it later. Trust me on this. I have gotten so much traffic during craft shows or the day or second day after that you really want to keep everything updated. There was a time where I did a craft show. It was for Valentine's Day or something, but I still had my holiday stuff up, and I was like, oh no, I should have had all my lovey-dovey stuff up. But yeah, update your website, make sure everything is top-notch, the photos that you want to show, the season that it's in, just make sure that you have it ready, because they will be going on there to browse your stuff. My last bit of advice, it's maybe the night before or the second night before, pack everything up. Make sure you have everything packed, ready to go. Don't wait till last minute. Sometimes you're gonna need an extra box or an extra set of wheels just to make sure you can have everything as compact as possible, because you're gonna be carrying that thing or whatever it is from your car to your booth, from your booth to your car. Sometimes you can leave it overnight, sometimes you can't, and you're gonna have to pack it all up again. So if you have a way that you can just keep everything together, I would also plan that out before the trade show. You've packed everything, you're prepared, now please get some rest. Don't stay up until like 3, 4 in the morning to get up at 7, 8 in the morning to be at the craft show. You are gonna be so tired. There's nothing like a craft show. You're using so much energy to get there, you're setting things up, you're doing everything on your own. You might have help, but still, you're the one that's talking about the brand, explaining it, doing the register, packing things, making sure everything is like filled on your table. You're gonna be tired. Trust me, get some rest. Now you're almost ready for your craft show. Now in my next video, I will just give you a few tips of some things that you should have before you head out to your craft show. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching till the end. Really good luck on your craft shows. If you are a maker, local or not, please reach out to me on Instagram, DM me. I love meeting other makers. It really is inspiring. It inspires me to keep doing more. So yeah, if you're out there, come and say hello, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.